Hey, it's Rick here. And of course, yesterday was Tuesday, October 23rd, 2012. Apple announced their new iPad mini alongside of a whole bunch of other stuff. And already I've gotten a ton of questions from you guys, not only about the mini, but also about the fourth generation iPad that was also announced yesterday. So hopefully I'll be able to answer some of those questions here and give my opinions as well. And if you still have questions, feel free to leave a comment down below or hit me up on Twitter at Metagamers. Now, let's talk about the iPad first, because this seems to be a sore spot for many. It was just about 6 months ago that Apple unveiled the third generation iPad. It's the new iPad. Well, here it's not so new anymore. We've got the fourth generation iPad just about 6 months later here, and a lot of people are feeling burned, but let me give my opinion on this. So first off, who should buy this? Well, in my opinion, I think that if you've never owned an iPad before, it's a pretty much no-brainer. Go for it. It's a great time to buy the iPad. Same pricing structure, and you're going to get the latest and greatest hardware. Now, the second question would be, okay, what if I've got an iPad 1 or a 2? Should I buy the iPad 4th generation? I would also say yes. If you're looking to make the jump, great time to do it. You're going to get the Retina screen. You're going to get the upgraded cameras, the updated processor as well. Now, the big question comes into if you have the third generation. Should you buy the fourth? Well, here's why I think Apple released this now. A couple of reasons. One, the holiday season is approaching very fast. The tablet market is getting really cramped. Microsoft is about to release their tablet on October 26th, and Apple wants to keep up. They want to keep up with processor speed. They want to keep up with the latest and greatest technology, and so that's why they're doing this now. Also, I think they're doing it because they're really pushing hard on the Lightning connector. Remember, the third gen iPad still uses the 30-pin dock connector, and so they're trying to get rid of that as quickly as possible and move everything to the Lightning connector. So then who buys it? Well, again, if you're new, if you're making the jump, buy it. If you're a third gen owner, I really only think you should be considering this fourth gen if you are a hardcore gamer. And when I say that, I mean you're playing games that are really pushing and taxing on a third gen iPad. Games that maybe do a lot of rendering, games that are more 3D modeling in that effect. Then yeah, you're going to benefit pretty much by this fourth gen iPad, as the bump from the A5X chipset to the A6X chipset has been indicated by Apple. It's going to be about a 2 times performance boost. So that's where you benefit. But for the majority of us, I really don't think it's that big of a deal. Reason being, most people are using their iPads to read email, to read books, to surf the web, to play casual games like Angry Birds. That kind of stuff, aside from maybe opening and loading times, isn't going to make that big of a difference. And is that worth the extra dollars to you? Of course, the other area is your camera. Well, if you're going to do a ton of FaceTiming and you want to have that front camera in 720p, and maybe you want to have some photos in 1.3 megapixels, then yeah, that's another benefit for you. But here's the thing. I would go on record, and I will go on record, saying that right around mid 2013, I would almost expect Apple to release their 5th generation iPad, which I will say is probably going to be a slimmer design. It's going to look very similar to what you're finding with the Mini and with the iPad 5, with the anodized back, with kind of that shiny bezel. They'll make it slimmer, they'll make it lighter. We'll probably see another performance increase. And at that time, you'll probably also see a new Mini come out that has a Retina display. So that's my take, and why I think you shouldn't feel too bad about the 4th generation iPad. Now, am I going to get one? You know what? If I get one, it's only so I can continue to do case reviews on the new design. And if I do, it's going to be a 16 gig Wi-Fi only. But right now, my answer is I'm holding off. I don't see the benefit of making the switch from 3rd gen to 4th. Now, the iPad mini, this little guy, I don't have it. This is just a case for it. I am relatively excited about this. This, I think, is a good tablet for this holiday season in a small, portable size that you can take with you. Yeah, it doesn't have the Retina display, but because of its smaller screen size at 7.9 inches and the pixel density, early hands-on reports are saying that it still looks really good. Somewhere past an iPad 2, but not quite the iPad 3. So You may notice screen quality difference, but portability, lightweight, and that battery life, again, of 10 hours is going to be something to be reckoned with. Now, the big question here is, if you're picking it up, are you going to get LTE with this, or are you going to get Wi-Fi only? Well, that's the question I'm asking myself, and I'm still struggling with it. Of course, the Wi-Fi only models of this are going to launch on November 2nd, and then your cellular models will come midway through November. So I'm still debating it because I think that it would be really nice to have that portability anywhere you go. But right now, if I had to sway one way or the other, I'm probably only going Wi-Fi. And I'm going to take you back to what I just said a few moments ago, because I think mid next year, we're going to see a revision of this. It's going to have a Retina display, and it's going to have an updated chipset, probably the A6X that we're finding in the iPads for the 4th generation here, as well as the iPhone. I would also expect that the Mini will probably always be about a step behind in CPU speed versus the iPad, because they don't want to cannibalize the market for their big brother iPad. So is it a good buy? I think it's right in line. The 16 gigs only going to run $329, and some may say it's a little bit more expensive than a Kindle Fire HD or an Android device. And yeah, it is, but you got to ask yourself, what do you rather buy into? I mean, a lot of the things that they talked about with apps and the development and all that is very true for the Apple platform and the iOS devices. So it'll be a hot holiday seller for sure. I am definitely getting one. Oh, and by the way, because everybody keeps asking me, I'm getting white. I got white on my iPhone 5. I'll get white on this. It scratches less on the back. So that's my take on it. As usual, if you guys have questions, comments, or feedback, you can always feel free to let me know. Hopefully this kind of helped you out, and that ends this talking head video. So take care, everybody, and have fun.